Hey, you, and you, and you. How's it going there? My name is ManteXD and welcome to another Gwent City video. Today, we will be talking about the meta itself. Many people have been coming to my channel and saying that decks they have copied from different sources don't really work. And some other people just straight up leave bad comments saying that the deck is not working and it's impossible for them to get number one with that kind of deck. But that's what I'm here for. It's time for me to explain the ladder meta, so it's easier for you to understand. Think of the ladder meta as a hamburger. I present you the current meta. Boom! Now, Gwent is a very fine-tuned game compared to other card games. Now, there is still room for improvement, but that's for another time. In other games, the deck works from bottom to top, but on Gwent, the meta has layers, and here is when the hamburger comes into play. Sometimes the layers of meta you're playing are not necessarily the meta other players are playing. For example, let's say you are here, playing a deck that works here. You know, the deck might work at this layer, but on your layer, you might have to do a couple of changes. There is a possibility that the result you're having is because of the different layers. Now, I would recommend to adapt to the layer that you are at. And if you're around here, make sure that you have a deck that works between here and here. Now, a faction that has been resisting this is the Scoia'tael. But this doesn't mean that you won't have to adapt and switch a couple cards here and there. Remember that meta switches and shifts constantly. The deck will have to do as well. One day Ciri Dash is considered Ciri Trash, and the next day she's a top tier godlike gold card that 10 out of the top 40 decks are using. You know, everything changes. Remember that is very important. One card that varies from layer to layer, it's Murdrum. Lower layers where PF5 is king might have to, adapt and add a couple Murdrums here and there. Now, a card that you will see from bottom to top, I guarantee you that that card is First Light. And First Light is my opinion, once again, my opinion, is the best bronze card in the game, and Scoia'tael makes a fantastic use out of this. The factions matter as well, from layer to layer. For example, monsters are rarely seen on the top layer, but on bottom and mid layer, they are very common. A rising faction to the top layer is Skellige. Within just a few days ago, people have claimed that the Skellige was not working, it was impossible to rise to the top, but guess what? Skellige they're coming hard, really hard into the ladder, and they're going into the top now. As a matter of fact, a couple of my friends are like, look, I'm not gonna lie, the only deck that I'm kind of losing at the moment is Skellige constantly, So, just so you know, the meta changes. The meta changes. Leaders on factions also have a layer flavor. In a few weeks back, Ethnic was the Scoia'tael to go. Now you're starting to see some Francesca and even Brotherhood. They're rising very quickly. On the other side, Hansel grew a little bit, but outshined by Rabbit and Foltest still. In Skellige's side, Herald remains king. Well, King Brand is not much of a king right there. And Crank and Crate is seeing a little bit of play, but is falling off really quickly. In Monsters, Kills is nowhere to be seen. Dagon and Eredin are having a competition on Tide of who's the best. Remember, meta changes and evolves. The best way to keep by it is by becoming informed. I hope this video was helpful to you, and if you have any questions, make sure to leave it on the comment section. My name is Manti, and I'll see you next time.